call, please.
Sure, Mr. Frederick?
Here.
Mr. Gabarsky?
Here.
Mr. Kopek?
Here.
Ms. Stern?
Here.
Teeth is absent, and we also have our village board liaison, Dr. Millette here.
No, I'm just doing my agenda. I'm not really doing my agenda.
And Mr. Johnson's not
Yeah,
here.
Mr.
The-
Johnson's not here.
and the attorney is not. Maroney is here, and the attorney is not. Okay, motion to approve the minutes of the zoning commission. We have a quorum, so motion to approve the minutes of
So
last
moved.
meeting. All right.
Second.
All right, any corrections, additions? I have a couple minor things. Just on page 2, the 1, 2, 3, fourth, it's just an edit. Fourth paragraph from the bottom says, Mr. Kopek questioned definition, space N, space 5. So page 2, fourth paragraph from the top says definition. The letter N is repetitive. You got definition, space N. It's just an edit. Space 5A, definition 5A, you've got the letter N, an extra letter N between the word definition and 5A. 5.A, you got an extra letter in there. Next page, second paragraph, there was a discussion on putting forward suggestions of big box retails, and Mr. Kopek and Mr. Gabarsky noted that Mr. Brown was, the question basically came up, where did a lot of the things from the table come up? And I want, the context of that was that we added that it was from the existing report, the Canaris report, okay?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
because some of the context was like, oh, where's this all coming from? And I know you brought that up, Jim. And so I would just add in that, suggested various items, not based on your sole input.
Yeah,
I wanted
okay.
to say it was also from the existing zoning ordinance, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want it to get misconstrued that it's all your creation.
Yeah,
and everything
okay,
like that,
yeah,
right?
I'm
So
fine
just
with
add in
that.
that it's from the existing zoning ordinance and your input, okay? That's all I had. Shall we, any other corrections, additions? If not, shall we, a voice vote to approve with the amendments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries with the amendments to approve the minutes.
Okay, and Mr. Johnson is here?
Yes. Very good. Okay. All right. If you had a chance to read the staff minutes, so there are some questions in there, but I think I'm going to go right into Article 5.
Right.
And we can address those things.
Just,
Would you like to say
no,
something?
just, no, note for the record,
Yes.
that public comment, there's no one here.
Oh, thank
to
you.
Comment,
Yes,
just, yeah.
thank you.
Just for
I,
the record.
Item 4, public comment, there is nobody. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Now, item 5, review and discuss draft articles, which would be 5A is Article 5, and then 5B, Table 5.1, and then Article 10 is item 5C. So 5A, which this is a relook at 5A. And some of the changes where we just put a dash in the table where we had an X before, and then we got rid of all the temporary thing. That's on page 1 of Article 5. I think that we agree with that. No changes on page 2 or 3. And then in the staff memo, they talked about combining energy systems. So we have a solar energy system and a wind turbines, but they are all energy systems as principal use. I thought that was a good idea. So just the terminology there, yes.
Okay, I don't know if this is just gonna be caught in cleanup, but under 5.1, section 5.1A, about the table, we took out the temporary uses. All the temporary items were removed, but still says in the heading of the first paragraph, the description, and temporary uses allowed within each zoning district.
Oh, I see, yeah. So 5A.
The first sentence, okay, yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
so strike
Yeah.
temporary and temporary uses.
Yeah.
Yes, very good, good catch. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
And
Now,
that-
again, just to clarify, those
Sure.
temporary uses are called out other places in the village code as other, what do we call it, accepted uses for, but it's not part of the zoning code. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I need to verify that for most of them, I'm gonna verify, and then when we circle back, we'll, we'll have kind of a cleanup meeting, but most of those, I can't say 100% are.
Okay, because there was, what, 4 items in the table, and as long as those are covered someplace else.
Somewhere, yeah.
Good, okay.
Okay, all right, pressing on, page 2, there's no red or cleanup items, so don't hesitate to stop me if you see something, or, page 3, I see no items, and page 4, again, when we're back to that, were energy systems. That was I think, a good idea to combine those two.
Yeah.
So that's just a correction on, page 4, just making it wind turbines instead of wind energy systems. And then just a cleaning of the language there on H, was that 2H for wind turbine. Under gas stations, I think we made that, I'll come back to that later on, there's still some issues with that, but I think the idea there was, we're trying to have no repair at gas stations, and that was the understanding, right?
Right, differentiating sales versus
Yes.
service.
Yes, okay, so that removes that,
Yeah.
which is what we kind of wanted. Then, moving on to page 6. I see no items for change. Page 7. Addition to standards is forgotten. I think that was, we start getting into the bottom of 7 and the top of 8, which is all removing the standards, so specific standards for wireless. You said that's more of a building code, is that?
Well, not really. All the telecommunications, it's special use. So I don't think we need to itemize every little tiny thing in here, because all of it will be special use. So if you want to have stealth design and
Yeah.
kind of shove someone in that direction, that can be done as part of the special
That's
use
why we got rid of the special.
approval. So I don't think we need to talk about this. I mean, this was all broken down into various different categories, but again, it's all special use, so
Yeah.
how you treat it will be,
Okay,
should be covered like that. Or it's building code, some of it's building code, not all.
Item C would stand, though, as corrected. It looks like C is
5C,
correct.
antennas must be located in an existing
No,
structure.
NC,
Oh,
N2C,
okay, what page you on first?
7.
7, okay.
We took out the line, this is not required for co-location or stealth design antenna, but it looks like the item number C is removed.
Oh, that's, I
think
don't
it's
know
just-
why that happened. Yeah.
Everything's just all strike, yeah, everything.
Yeah, I don't know, that somehow, that when I struck one thing, it struck the paragraph. But yeah, I'll
You
put that
just
back in.
changed it, you changed it to C, but it just put a line through it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, so I'll put that back in.
I do have a question, going back to the gas station, since I wasn't here last time.
Sure.
The intention of striking 4 under gas station, the one vehicle wash bay is allowed, was that to eliminate any wash bays, or was that to eliminate criteria on the number of wash bays?
I don't believe there was a number of. but
Yeah, again, this
I think
is,
we-
this is a special
Special
use, and there
use,
was a
right,
comment
yeah.
made, that can be decided on
Right.
a special use. I mean, it's
Yeah.
most, I can't think of a car wash I've seen that has more than one wash bay, but I'm
Right.
sure they're out there, but
Yeah.
almost anything would
They're
probably
just
be
one
one.
very large.
Yeah.
Right, so,
Yeah.
but if they wanted to have 2, that would be part of the special use for
Okay.
the gas station.
Yeah, it's just because the car wash itself is so complicated
Yeah,
when it comes to siting and everything else, that you just make it a special use and,
yeah, and car wash is a special use as well, so either way, we're
Okay.
covered there with a review and an opportunity to limit the number of wash bays. I mean, if 2 fit and we wanted to have it, I guess we could do it, but,
Okay, then removing of top of page 7, or it's at the very bottom of page 7, that one line, and then the top of page 8. So, we're saying that would be also just special use, right? So, very minor issue, just the font on the sub A, B, C, D, E, F, G on 6 and 7, so it's all very different.
Italic.
Yeah, italics, it's italics, so it's just a different font. You change under 6 and 7, just to standardize it.
Oh, yeah,
It's the font's a little different.
yeah.
Those are easy. All right. Okay. I don't think I have anything else there. Then we get down to the table. All right. Table 5.1, permitted and special uses. In the header, we just need to clean up a couple things. It still has, an X in the column indicates not in law. So we
okay,
just change the X to a dash. And then it also has a
The T.
T indicates a temporary, so we can probably eliminate that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you made the comments, talking about, I'm just gonna start going down the list and looking at the changes, and we can jump around, but just try to start at the top. And housing services for the infirm, I know you made the comment about changing it, hey, anybody who needs services,
Yeah.
so I think that's probably a good change. You did change from a permitted to a special use in C2. And here's one of the questions I was trying to go back, and I didn't have time to look it up, but the differences, and it's basically listing what C1 and C2 is, and, what permitted, what is permitted and
Yeah.
not. So I'm sure it's somewhere, I just didn't have the time to find it, but you did not want to permit it, but your suggestion is to change it to, or was our, I don't know if that was our suggestion, but I think,
Yeah, I caught that, and I've been involved in these various types of facilities, skilled nursing, assisted living, development proposals where people come in, and I do think it is something where you always want that discretionary review. You want the review because the parking requirements and the sighting, with the ambulances coming, and fire lanes, the fire department comes in with fire lane requirements and access on different sizes. So I think regardless of what zoning district it's going into,
It should be a
the
special use.
municipality should have a special use, so you have that
okay,
review. It's
Okay.
it's one of these things that's hard to itemize, you must have this, you can't have that, so you have this review, and then you look it over, and you kind of go back and forth, and
Okay.
you have them,
Just looking for
make the canopy higher, because the fire department can't get its trucks underneath, and just all types of things like that
Yeah.
come up.
Well,
So-
also, it has a big impact on utilities, water, sewer and water especially.
Yeah, so, yeah.
right.
There's
yeah.
only,
Limited.
a very limited number of locations that have a hookup, let alone getting
Yeah.
access to that hookup. It was.
It's a big
right, so-
restriction for us, right. Just going down, the next one, under commercial uses, retail sales or service, it looks like you might have changed one from was P. You eliminated one, I'm not sure which one it was, but it looks, my guess is that you had a permitted use in one zoning, but you removed it,
Yeah,
I think. But
yeah, retail says, I'm sorry, so C1 should be P, I think that's what I meant there,
Oh,
yeah.
so okay, so if we're gonna have retail sales and service, obviously it makes sense to have it in C1,
Right,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so we wanna add that in
Yeah.
there. Okay.
And then, if I may,
Yeah, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
you had a discussion of department store, and the way I understood it went back and forth, and I think the decision was not to allow the kind of the big box retail. Is that
I
correct?
think that was the general.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this has been modified across the board where it's not a special use anyplace anymore, it's not allowed.
Yeah, now, warehouse, I mean, this is a little bit terminology, but warehouse club, and I kinda get that, like a Sam's Club or
Sam's Club,
whatever.
okay.
But just for terminology, because we use the term warehouse later on in the table.
Right, but it's defined
Yeah,
separately,
okay,
so.
all right, okay. Just wanna make sure that was all right.
And then right below, I wanted to call out, so home center is more like the Menards. Again, same thing, big box retail, so do you wanna just not allow that at all? Treat that-
Well, I guess we think about this area here, it's something like a Menards that wouldn't fit in, but what if you had a small mom and pop hardware store?
Yeah, or,
You know?
yeah.
Or Ace or something like that, you know, so you could have, now is that considered a department store? Not really, I wouldn't think that would be considered a department store.
No,
Retail.
But it'd be retail, right?
I'd just group something like that, like a smaller Ace Hardware and retail.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. I could see something like that, but, so you've got homes as special use in a C1, C2, as a potential, right?
Yeah.
As a potential. But, I mean, I don't think that's what we're, I don't know, what's everybody else's, I don't think that's something we're looking for, input.
When considering the number of locations that could be suitable within the village proper,
Current village
Yeah,
proper, true.
yeah.
You'd have to think of
it'd have to be an annexation.
Yes,
And
which-
then under an annexation, it all becomes special.
Right, so,
I mean, you do it that way.
yeah.
Can you go back, Ralph, just to the, is there a different way of saying warehouse club where we don't use the word warehouse? I mean, you're thinking of like a Costco or
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club,
Yeah.
is there a different terminology for that? I mean, to me, a warehouse is, you know, industrial in
Yeah,
nature,
it
not.
is addressed later on in the table.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, okay, I understand. I don't know, just what could I put in besides, or what could we put in besides warehouse? Just
Membership?
membership club or
Membership club.
department membership?
Well, the membership club does identify that type and style. I think that's a better
Better word.
use of word than warehouse.
Okay,
All
all right.
Yeah. All right, so home centers, I think that would remove the special use on home centers, just say not authorized.
I mean, with the vagueness of the size, I feel like if you have it special use, that the door's always open again to review it, to see if it fits in the proposed location or size of the, you know,
I mean, I don't
if
have
it's
a
similar
problem.
to an Ace Hardware, then it would be fine, you know, and that special use would allow the village to review that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem leaving,
Right.
special use in C2, because the only place where you could do a C2, Burlington and Bolcom, that parcel up there is probably the only one currently in the village, everything else would be an annexation. Or your level of subdivision,
Yeah,
but then it's always special.
right, it is always gonna be special in an annexation agreement, so. All right, I guess we'll leave that in then for now. Lawn and garden supplies, we've got that C1, C2, and farm business, which makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah. And I know, we'll come back to that, I know that there was a discussion
Yeah.
about breaking that out or combining with nursery and stuff, so we'll come back when we get with that, later on. Let's see, top of next page, banquet hall, caterer. Okay, so there's your explanation. You removed it from farming and then put it basically research and development, which is light industrial and, don't have a hard thought on that one way or the other. I mean, it's gonna be it's more of a, I don't know if that's the.
It's really more of a placeholder.
Yeah, yeah, so. Okay. Mobile food service, I think we went through that before.
Yeah.
And so I think we're pretty well, that was basically conditional. And, I think we beat that one pretty well. Unless anybody else has further comments or concerns.
Where's note one again? Okay, mobile trucks are regulated by another section of the village code. I guess, again, seem to be stumbling over the whole mobile food, you know, the food truck. Is it their base of operations that we're trying to identify and zone, or is it their point of sale?
I think it's their operation.
Right, so that shouldn't even be conditional in residential.
Good point. At least that's my understanding, it's about where it's not about where they're selling, it's about where they're zoned for that. So if you're at your home base, if you're gonna be cooking and making all that kind of stuff and storing.
Yeah, I think it started out as where they were selling, and
Right.
then, so.
But
if
from
we
a zoning
wanted to-
perspective, it's really about where are they,
Where they're based out of, yeah,
Yeah.
then it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, so-
but Ralph,
Yeah.
a mobile food service isn't gonna typically, make food and then go out and sell it.
Okay,
A mobile
yeah.
food service is making it on site. So
Yeah.
I think it is where it's delivered, not where it's made, where that food service truck shows up. And and it's on a couple of different levels, not only the sales tax dollars, but also health requirements too. So maybe it's just a difference in opinion of the definition, but to me, that
Okay.
mobile food trucks that I've seen they come to a site, they're preparing the food and selling the food there.
So, but we're really looking at zoning, so I guess I'm trying to take a step back and say, if we're really
Right.
talking about zoning,
Mhm.
that's really not, we're not,
Uh-huh.
can't regulate how they sell, where they sell stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my understanding of that.
Yeah.
Well, so is this saying that they would have conditional use permit in a residential area to bring a mobile food truck in to sell? Because if I own a restaurant in the village, I'm not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah.
Well, I
really-
think
don't
we
know
kind
if
of beat this one to death
Yeah.
last time about the fact that it's for parties, it's for sports
Yeah.
tournaments, it's for people that aren't going to a restaurant. They're going to be on site because they invited a food truck to come to their kid's birthday party, or they invited a food truck to sell at the soccer tournament on Memorial Day. I mean, that was the intention of allowing a mobile food truck access to the village.
I guess my question is it mobile food service belong in here?
Well, yeah, in fact, if you see note
It
one,
belongs here.
if you see note, and this is coming back to me now. So note one is the operation of mobile food trucks is regulated by the village code. So right now, this is essentially, it was meant to, it started out in the previous code, it was where can they sell? And then we had a discussion, and it was like, that's really regulated in other parts of the village code. This was kept in here because the question was raised, do we want to regulate where they park their trucks and are they operating a business?
Right. Yes.
And we could leave it in there like that, so it's shifted. I don't think that would come under contractor, I don't think it fits our definition of a contractor. So, if we want to have a separate category for someone operating a mobile food service business, and where can they park the trucks outside of where they park it while they're selling overnight, then that would be in here if we wanted it. Because right now, there's limitations on commercial vehicles parking in someone's driveway
Right.
and other things. So if we wanted to allow for that,
So maybe the correct heading would be mobile food operations. which
Or
is-
storage.
Well, I say
If the
operations,
intention is
that's
for
storage,
the after
their-
hours.
Their warehousing, their refrigeration centers, or whatever
Right.
they've got, they gotta have a source of supply
right,
and a location, a business address
yeah,
is what it comes down to.
right.
So are you gonna permit that in residential?
No.
So it shouldn't be in residential, it should only be the, C1, C2, or RD.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Unless
So-
you take the whole thing out of a C1, C2 RD. So,
Yeah, okay.
but, I mean, if you want to have an operation, I'd like to say a base of operation, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've beaten that one again.
Yeah.
They do come back on occasion.
Yeah, they do. Okay, moving down, I think the massage therapy establishment, that was a new, one with a new definition. permitted in C1 and C2, and the definition down below. And physical therapy establishment. And this kind of comes back to the question of consolidating things like clinics and offices, you know, and then are we parsing things too far, you know, are we picking out things too particular, or do we want to?
Right.
Because massage slash physical therapy, if they're both being conditional, I don't see why they have to, you know, they can be combined, like massage slash physical therapy.
But I think there's a more formal accreditation though with the physical therapy than there would be with massage. I mean, to me, I would keep them separate of, just by definition, the way I think of it.
Okay. All right, and then we can come back and review if we want to combine physical therapy with maybe another medical clinic or office or something like that.
And it's not noted on here, but I don't think veterinarian is spelled correctly under
Oh.
pet and animal services.
Veterinarian. Yeah, might be
It's
a
spelled
type-
phonetically, but,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
No,
so
my
that-
name's supposed to be in the middle of that word, so.
Okay,
It's veterinary, it's T, there's literally T-E-R-I in the middle of that word.
all right. Okay, so then after that, looks like we just changed the allow, permitted, or in the RD, which is fine, no problem with that. All right, industrial light permitted instead of special, which makes sense, and especially in the R&D, which is industrial, light industrial. And let's see, contractor office with equipment. Is that like one of the mobile, is that what you're talking, like a contractor office, like one of the, like a mobile unit that gets put?
Now, contractor office with equipment is, well, there's an office there, they have their operations out, that's, you know, where they do their, receive phone calls, accounting, whatever, and then they would have a yard, or
Okay, yeah,
garage or
with
whatever.
the store, a lot of
it.
Keep their
Okay,
vehicles.
all right, got it.
Sort of like a food truck.
Kind of. Actually, it is the same thing, but,
An office and
yeah, I mean, it's
trucks.
the same thing.
Yep. All right, so they've got that for R&D and then farm business. Yeah, okay. All right, there's warehouse then comes
Mhm.
in, and you say you have a definition, and that's only in the R&D section.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Then there's the utilities where you changed everything, changed from energy systems principal use, which combines both of them, and that's R&D, farming, and farm business as a special use. All right. And then your redefinition of amusement facility, striking the indoor, so I imagine you're striking everything on that?
Yeah, that's all, it's hard to see the S's,
Yeah.
but that's stricken out.
Yeah, yeah.
So the amusement facility indoor was very, very similar, and I didn't realize this, you know, we start to add things. It's essentially the same as the fitness, recreation, sports, so we, remember we had a discussion on that, we split it up with 10,000 square feet being the threshold for special use or the zones that they're allowed in. So that was redundant, I felt, and then the amusement arcade was just, as I explained, like, someone has computer games, you know, it's like in a little storefront.
Right.
You know, I don't know how, when my son was kind of preteen, I used to have to drive him to these things, so I'm kind of familiar with them. I don't know how popular they are these days, but that wave may have passed or
Right,
whatever. Everyone has them at home now, but that's the intention, so that would be, you know, a little storefront here in the downtown area, and the other items. You know, you could still have a small fitness center, like a little yoga studio or something, but the larger fitness centers, again, where would we have that? But if anyone did want to come in with that, then that would be, that 10,000 square foot threshold is determined special use in the districts, so.
Well, what about, say, like a laser tag facility or something along those lines, where it's not an arcade per se, but it is entertainment slash amusement indoors?
Well, then,
Would that
then
fall
that would
under
go
one
in
of these?
fitness, recreation, sports.
So
yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
calling
Yeah,
it
yeah,
a
this is
sport?
Gym of athletic
Yeah.
Okay,
clubs, so. if
because
you
it's
get-
not
Yeah.
technic, well, I guess, I
You can
mean,
get like the trampoline parks or.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
all that
stuff
stuff,
like
all
that.
that
You're
stuff
just gonna
fits the
put it under
definition of
that.
that, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where it would go.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the, you know, a question here under camps, camping and related establishments, I think you added camps, but it says keep the S, and I wasn't sure which one, I guess is that under farm? Let's use keep S.
I'm sorry, where are you now?
So we're under camps, just underneath the amusement outdoor, it says camps, camping and related.
Oh,
establishments.
yeah, so I don't know, do you want that? I mean, camps or camping in the farm district or not? That's into that kind of discussion of farm and open space, et cetera, but I mean, do you want to even allow that, or?
So,
That was the question, yeah.
well, it comes down to the bottom of the page then. So when the bottom of the page, like, we've got private clubs or lodge, sports team or club facilities, you know, and then they seem to be in, well, see, a sports team or club facility can be in a farm right now.
Right.
But then but a private club or lodge cannot. So I guess I'm just trying to discern the difference between all those. I mean, it makes more sense to me if you're gonna do camping and stuff, you probably wanna be in open space.
Mm-hmm.
But then it does raise the question then, would you want a sports team or club facility in a farm?
Probably not.
No, I would think no. And I don't know about farm business, because farm business, that wouldn't really be related to
No.
farm business either.
No.
So we scratch that.
But under open space, that implies that there's a commercial usage on open space. If it's allowing, you know, a camping facility as opposed to a, what do you call it, a campground.
Well, and that's,
Un-
so, by the
unorganized
opposite, I was thinking if someone has
Boy
a farm
Scouts.
business, wouldn't they have that option to
Yeah.
allow a commercial use of a section of their property for
Yeah,
a
they
camp
would.
space? I would feel like that would be
Yeah.
more appropriate than an
Yeah.
open space.
Yeah.
And the definition of farm business, isn't it related to farm?
Yeah. It is.
So I guess that's where, I mean, the definition could
Yeah.
change, but,
Right.
but that's the way, right now it's written,
Mhm.
so. I
Well,
think-
but is the definition of open space allow for commercial use? Because then we'd have to strike it from there.
Oh, I don't have that, I mean, that's not even in the table here. I'd have to go back and see what I don't think the open space zoning really differentiated between, you know, non-for-profit or commercial or anything.
Okay.
The only thing I'd think about open space would be like some of the, not that we have them in national parks, but you know, they have a commercially run restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, as a concession
As a
there.
concession is run, not by the Park Service, you know, or the owner, but it's run, and they
Yeah.
hire them. So I think of something along those lines, you know, but that would be whoever owns the open space, but whether, I guess we're looking for whether we're gonna zone and allow that or not. So if they felt like the concession would be something that could work in the park, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe they could
I mean,
allow
I
it.
still think if someone owns 50, 75 acres, and they're, even if they're zoned farm business, if they chose to take 5 acres and let people park RVs on the back part of their property, would that not be acceptable?
Technically, no.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
Yeah,
the question
way
I'm
it is
making.
now.
Like, would
It'd be
we
a special use.
force, but we don't have anything right
Anything.
now.
table is really a guide, isn't it?
Well, it's, no, it kind of says, this is the law.
I mean, anything is special use.
Yeah.
Because you can petition for a different use regardless of whether it's in the table or not.
You can request a map amendment or
Yeah.
a text amendment, yeah. We don't have to allow everything under the sun, I think.
Right,
If we don't want a
right.
specific category,
We
we
don't
don't have
have
to
to
put it in.
list everything either.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we don't, yeah, we don't.
It's
I'm just
impossible.
throwing it out, so we have a discussion and
Yep.
you pull it out of it, you know, it's just,
Joe's right.
yeah, I mean, if you want to pull that out, that's fine. You know, we don't have to do it, don't have to list it.
Okay, so just to move
Yeah.
along then, so camps, camping related establishments in farm? Yes or no?
I say no.
Okay.
And
Anybody
I take
else?
it out,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'm more inclined to leave it in and allow, have it be a special use so that it can be reviewable versus,
In farm or farm business, though.
well, if you're adding S to farm, then I would add S to farm business. Cause was your original
Yeah.
question, was keep S in farm.
Yeah, I think we said no for that, right?
Right.
So then the question, I guess really, the better question would be then, is it gonna allow farm business? So that would be.
Right,
the better
and
question.
consequently, sports team or club facilities.
Right. I would say, let's take out, in camps, just take out just have one S under open space, all right? Everything else is not permitted, you can
Okay.
always petition for it.
Yeah.
That, with saying that, sports and club facilities, I would take out, in farming and farm business as well. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
take those
I
out
have
as
no
well.
problem with that.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
So
Okay.
just terminology again, under education, we're on that section, right,
Yep,
number
yep.
3?
Yeah,
It says preschool and then nursery parenthetically, and then under agriculture, we have greenhouse and nursery. So we need to pick one area of using the word nursery instead of confusing preschools and greenhouses.
okay. Yeah, that's just for
Or you could have
clarification.
a preschool with a greenhouse.
Yeah, it's very educational.
Because on the preschool
Yeah.
part, I just don't think they use nursery anymore.
Probably not.
And then, but the other thing is, and I don't know this to be fact, but isn't there some kindergartens, isn't there some preschools that also have kindergarten too?
Yeah, like
So may,
pre-K 3 and pre-K 4
okay,
and,
I mean, whatever that
It's
is,
usually
but
pre-K,
if we
yeah.
pulled nursery out and maybe just a little bit better identifier for preschool and.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would just say just say preschool or.
Preschool,
and
yeah.
Strike nursery.
Strike nursery, yeah.
Yeah, strike that.
I'm good with that.
All right. Okay. Okay, so research and development wasn't asked to make it permitted, of course, it's in the
Yeah.
research and development, that makes sense. School alternate education services, I like. okay.
Tutoring
Yeah,
services?
that's what I'm guessing.
And that's for like, kind of like special education type things, programs like that. That are kind of outside the, somewhat parallel yet outside the typical K through 12 schooling system.
But I think the tutoring's a good,
The tutoring as well.
and that's not necessarily special education.
no.
So, that was a good example of what alternate education could be.
Or you have homeschoolers that come together, or
Yeah.
some things like that.
Yeah.
They would come together as a group to do things, so.
Let me see what the definition, are we using? I was just doing that the other day.
So as long as it's a special use,
Yeah.
that means that it has to be evaluated before it can be in a residential setting.
Yep.
So we're good.
That's fine with that. And then it
Yeah.
just says not in farming, farm business, or open space. I'm fine with all
Yeah.
that. That's good. special assistance, welfare, and charitable services not permitted. So,
Social assistance.
special, thank you. I gotta open up my,
So the definition for that, and I just wanted to, these establishments provide social assistance or counseling services directly to individuals, almost like an office setting. They do not offer residential or accommodation services. It's just some type of counseling.
Okay.
okay, so.
So it's
wouldn't-
almost like an office.
Why would, wouldn't that just be lumped in with professional services?
We could, I just
Yeah.
wanted, again,
Yeah.
we could eliminate this and that would just be professional services.
Professional
I just wanted-
services.
I just
Should we have
eliminate
it?
that.
Yeah. Okay, we can eliminate it and